it holds a crazy burden on you. Like what's that called? Like survivor's guilt type of stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's like a word for it. But like, it was just because we're all turning up type of stuff. Obviously, we all know he like overdosed and stuff. So I didn't really have a clue what he did, and so being there and being the last one there, like to see like his last moments, it like kind of replays in my head a lot type of stuff. So this is really interesting. Like it's always in the back of my head, and it just like lets me know how valuable life is and how fragile it is. So
And
that's my takeaway from it.
when you say the guilt, is that something that still
Yeah,
to this day?
because you always feel like you could have done something. You know, like obviously like there's nothing you can do because you don't know what they did and all that. Like I wasn't really around him when he was doing all that. I got there later in the night. So it's just weird. You just feel helpless, but you feel like you could have done something, but you really can't.
Yeah, I want to say, I mean, I assume that's something common too, and it's something like that that's, I guess you would say, preventable in some ways, even though
Yeah, yeah,
realistically it's not because it
yeah.
happened.
That's what you think. Yeah, and then especially because I really like I was around that night, but I wasn't watching like like I wasn't babysitting. Like yo, don't take this, don't take that. So it just feels weird, but no, it's a learning experience like any type of like passing that from someone that's close to you. So
And I'm sure it was brought up in the when I spoke to Ben and John,
yeah,
but Gabe wasn't even, at least from what I remember, I never. It was a shock to me, like let alone you guys,
right.
because I never took him even for that person that would even put himself in that position.
Nah, he really wasn't. I think he was just like living life to the fullest that night. Like it was one of the B Brigade shows, the open house, if you remember those.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone just enjoying themselves. So I think he just took it a little bit too far, just drunk, and had maybe like some of the wrong influences around him that from people that we didn't really know, that we kind of just met. And I think that kind of had like a influence on that type of stuff.
And that guilt you're talking about, excuse me, is that something you want, you try to massage out, or is that something like you kind of mentioned that you use as motivation?
I kind of use it as motivation more than anything, just cause like I don't know, you just want to get past it, and then I know that he would want you to get past it. You know what I'm saying? Because he wanted the best for all of us. So
Yeah.
that's basically the way I kind of approach that.
Is that something that you kind of took immediately the first when it
Nah,
happened?
it hits you as a shock, as you know, like obviously like the passing of your dad that I've heard about. So like I'm sure, how did you feel like right away?
Honestly, man, and it's I'm trying when you say guilt, I kind of feel like first time I'm saying this, but like a griever's guilt in the sense that it happened to me when I was 12.
Yeah,
So for you to see a death like that as a grown man, it's like that shit really sticks with you. Even though obviously whoever's editing this, just get out me clearing out my throat. Uh I don't remember a lot. It was a lot of stuff
hmm
that I kind of blacked out, and I've had conversations in the past that I want to say it's a defense mechanism where I was just super young, and it was such a catastrophe of a jolt to my
right.
brain as a 12-year-old that I don't really remember. I remember moments. I remember that day. I remember how I felt, I guess, as time passed, but I don't really remember how I handled it in the beginning generally. And it's frustrating. It's
Yeah,
honestly really frustrating because I know how it's affected me as I got older and I got more time to digest it,
yeah,
which is kind of what I'm asking is when we're talking about the survivor's guilt, because when you go through something like that, your feelings and the way you handle it and the way you see it just kind of morphs as time goes on. So I was
hmm
curious to see if that's something that you realized in the beginning. And with that being said, what was the beginning like for you guys?
I think frustration was like the word for it, like you said, because you don't know how to feel, and you feel like you should have more emotions, but you kind of try to block it out a little bit, and then it hits you way later. Like in life, I don't know, it's interesting, but just I don't know. There's no way of like handling deaths like that. I think like there's coping mechanisms. They're talking to people. I feel like the more you talk about it to people, that's a little bit better. But just
Did you
holding stuff in isn't good, obviously.
Let's go, Teo!